everybody. Welcome to week 3 of our November blog, all about pay-per-click advertising. And I have the wonderful Grayson joining us here. Woo! Hey, Grayson.
Hey.
You doing good? Doing good?
How about you?
I am doing great. For those of you that are just tuning in, Grayson is our PPC manager here at Structure M. So he knows all the details and all the secrets to have a successful PPC campaign. So if it's okay with you, Grayson, let's go ahead and jump in. Does that work?
Sounds great.
Awesome. So this week's question, we're going to start with, what are some tips for writing a successful pay-per-click ad?
Awesome. Well, I feel like there are kind of two main keys to writing a successful PPC ad, specifically for Google.
Okay.
You want to look at both the people that are searching for your services. You want to think about them. And you also want to think about the Google Ads system.
Okay.
So
can you explain that a little more? Like, can we break it down? Like first, like when it comes to people, what we're thinking about, and then we can break it down, like what Google, how we write for Google.
Yeah. So when it comes to understanding your potential customer, you really want to think about what are those really quick pieces of information that I can give them that they'll think is valuable, because, you know, you're on a search results page, you're looking to solve a problem. So what am I looking for? Whenever I'm looking for a siding contractor, am I wanting someone that is very reputable? Am I wanting someone that's been in business a long time? Do I want to make sure that they're in my area? So when you're writing your ads, you want to be thinking about what are those really quick snippets of information that people are probably looking for when they're wanting to solve their problem, and include those in my ads.
Okay. And then so that makes total sense, because like you said, like when you're writing an ad, you're looking to solve a problem for the buyer. And so you want to make sure that when you are crafting your ad, that you're solving the problem that they're searching for right away, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So, go ahead. What were we going to add?
Oh, just part of the key to that is really just how quick you can relay that information, or how short you can, because people are just scanning whenever they're on search results. You know, they're just scrolling through. People want to find their answer really fast. So like, you're not wanting to write out like a paragraph for these people. You know, you want it to be very, very readable. So when you're looking at your ads, just look and see, like, do I understand this in a couple of seconds? Because that's about all the attention you have for people.
Would you suggest like 1 or 2 sentences when you're writing an ad? Like, how long is an ad typically?
Oh, that's a good question too. So Google has its own format for how ads are. They have what's called a headline. So that is something that's only 30 characters long. So it's really only going to be probably like 2 to 5 words usually. And it mixes and matches those headlines. So you're putting in things for headlines like siding contractor in Chattanooga, or affordable and 5-star rated, or get a free quote. So you're putting in these little phrases. So you want to think about that's kind of the main part of your ad. And then you also have descriptions. Those are longer form, where you can kind of write out like a sentence or two. But both of those, you really want to make sure that each phrase or little sentence for the description, you want it to be really understandable very quickly.
Okay, that makes total sense. So are there any other things when you're writing these ads for Google that Google's looking for specifically to have a successful PPC ad?
Yeah, so Google also, their system has its own little quirks that it's hard to know without testing out what it prefers. But the Google system, it will prioritize certain phrases and terms and bring them up higher, just if it thinks that people will react better to those ads. So sometimes that includes like throwing in a number instead of like spelling out the number. Pretty much always better to use a number because it catches the eye more, and Google knows that. So there's little things like that where the more you test out, the more you'll realize, okay, this is what Google's going to rank higher at the top. but it's really different for each industry. So you kind of want to start your ads by writing it for your people, seeing what you think will respond best to. And then from there, kind of testing and tweaking, seeing like, okay, does Google like this more? Maybe we should flip these words around or stuff like that.
Oh, that's really interesting. I never even thought about like the whole number thing. So it's good that you test things and you try things out and trial and error. It sounds like till you find whatever is the combination that really works for you, because it sounds like Google is ever changing, right?
Yes, always.
Well, okay, so this kind of tails into my last question, because I know in a previous week we talked about how keywords play a role in PPC ads. So do you need to do like extensive research to understand the keywords for your industry, or how do we do that? Like, say we don't have a marketing agency at our disposal, like how would we even go about figuring out what are the keywords for us?
Yeah, so keyword research is really key to your advertising strategy, because you want to make sure that what you're advertising for, like, people are actually searching. And sometimes people search for your services with different words or phrases than what the actual service is. So, sometimes we have clients where they want to advertise for something pretty specific, like a siding replacement, but a lot of people don't necessarily search for a siding replacement when they want one. They might be looking for a siding contractor. So sometimes you have to think more outside the box and be like, okay, people might want my service searching for this, but the terms they're using are actually broader than that. So whenever you're doing your keyword research, you want to keep that in mind. Now, there are several tools that Google has that you can use. And one of them is within the ads platform, and it's free to use as long as like you create an ads account. It's called the Keyword Research Planner.
Awesome.
And so within that, you can select like, here's the area I want to advertise in. Here are my keywords. And then it'll give you how many times a month that those keywords are searched and how much it's estimated each keyword will cost. And then it also gives you more ideas for other related keywords.
Man, I didn't even know that was available. That's awesome. So when you're writing your ads, are you trying to put those keywords in your ads specifically?
Yeah, so I would say that is pretty much a must. Always make sure that whenever you are targeting a certain keyword, you have an ad that contains that keyword in it. So, back to our classic siding contractor, if I'm looking for local siding contractors in like my area, I would want to make sure that like my ads have siding contractor in Chattanooga, So that way, because that's like the lowest bar. If people see an ad and they're not sure that you're even in their area or doing exactly what they're looking for, they're going to scroll right past you.
Yeah, man, that's really good information, like, and a great resource. Thanks for sharing that resource, because it's so important that you're not just throwing money just in the wind and hoping that it's going to work. Like, there really is a strategy behind PPC advertising with Google, and then also like the whole testing thing, because you could get frustrated like doing an ad and spending all this money, like, why doesn't it work? But if we can just tweak it and test it as we go, it sounds like we get better and better results. Would you say that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So small business owners, you can do this. Just takes a little bit of effort and a lot of practice is what it sounds like. So thank you, Grayson, for all the tips and tricks this week. It has been very informative and I am learning a lot. I hope our viewers are learning a lot, and we will continue the conversation next week. See you then. Bye-bye.